Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. And I have a big old movie haul for you guys today. From DVD to 4K, from Arrow to Visual Vengeance, Steelbooks, you name it, it's in this haul. I am super excited to share these with you guys. It is a much bigger haul than I anticipated. Oh, that's right. Criterion collection in here as well, as I wrapped up my final purchases from the November sale. But tons to get through. Before I do, let me point out one of my best purchases here over the last few weeks, the physical Media Man shirt, one of my favorites here on YouTube. I talk about Joe relatively frequently. He's in one of my Bluetubers you should subscribe to videos, so had to support him by picking up one of his shirts. I actually moved the camera back a little bit so I could showcase it throughout this entire video. I will link his channel down in the comments. Definitely follow him if you don't already. He does basically the same types of things I do. Great guy though. So anyway, with all of that out of the way, before we jump into it, if you have a quick second, go and hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. But with that said, let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right into my December new pickups. Alright, so I'll start off with some things that you may have already seen, but Mill Creek sent these over, so I'd like to showcase them once again. So I'll start off with the DVDs from Mill Creek. We have a movie called I Can, which is from what I can tell, like a spiritual or a faith-based sports film. And yeah, that came out in the month of December. And then along with that, we have Divine Influencer. And this one is an influencer losing everything and trying to make her way back, essentially. So those are two of the DVDs, and there's one more DVD. This one is the one I'm actually interested in. This one is Daddy-Daughter Trip with Rob Schneider, directed by him, I believe, and it is starring his daughter as well. So pretty interesting one. Mike over at Movie Edge actually told me some interesting stats about this one, how it didn't really have a theatrical debut outside of Arizona for some reason, and then it's finally making its debut really on home media on DVD. So that is the DVDs, and then since I'm rolling here, let me also show you the one Blu-ray they released, and this is Ultraman Battle Kaiju Series 2. So this one has 11 episodes on it, plus 2 different movies, and on the inside there is a nice packet as well, or a booklet, but the Steelbook, the slipcover on this looks really cool. So those were all of the releases from Mill Creek. Again, you probably already saw them if you checked out my Mill Creek unboxing video, but I figured I would showcase them again. The two I'm keeping are going to be these two here. The other two are going to head over to my mom because I think they'll be ones that she'll enjoy. The other two that you guys might be aware I've already picked up are the two Visual Vengeance releases. So I have standalone reviews for both of these. I've reviewed every single Visual Vengeance release that they've done, which is obviously a point I'm very proud of because I always bring it up. But anyway, spine number 13 is Scream Queen with Linnea Quigley, and this was a lot of fun. My chainsaws made for cutting to the boots are made for walking theme was just a ton of fun to watch. Again, check out my full review on that one. And then the one that is probably the best Visual Vengeance release to date, at least the one that I enjoyed the most, is spine number 14. We have The Wrong Door, a very Hitchcockian, Brian De Palma-esque thriller that's done really well. I thoroughly enjoyed this. The disc on this is amazing with the special features also. So if you're going to get one Visual Vengeance release out of the November releases, I'd have to recommend Wrong Door. It is excellent. But again, check out my full reviews on both of these here on the channel. Alright, so let's move over to the standard Blu-rays I've picked up. And again, this whole video is everything that is new. So you guys might remember from one of my recent hauls, I've been getting into the idea of trying to get like the theatrical cuts, the director's cuts, extended cuts, whatever cuts are available of one film, trying to add them to the collection. Well, fortunately with Kingdom of Heaven, that was exceptionally easy because this Blu-ray here is the Ultimate Edition, which has the director's cut Roadshow version, the original theatrical cut, and I thought there was one more, maybe not. That might be the 3 cuts on here, but Yeah, so it's very interesting. There are 3 different versions of Kingdom of Heaven. So I guess that's one less than Alexander, but still really cool. I've actually not seen this one, but I'm assuming I will like it. It's a Ridley Scott film, and it looks like a ton of fun. So I figured I would pick it up as we have floating Blu-rays over here on the side. Anyway, Kingdom of Heaven, the Ultimate Edition. I grabbed this one from Amazon. It was like around $10, $11, so not bad for everything you're getting here. Speaking of different cuts, the only other edition of Alexander I needed to add to my collection was the Ultimate Cut. So that's the one I picked up brand new on Blu-ray because I think this was, I don't know, somewhere around $10 on Amazon. So I figured just grab it new, might as well. So yeah, on top of this, this one does have some special features on it as well, if you can see those. But now I have all 4 editions of Alexander. I still have only watched the theatrical, but I liked that when I saw it, so I'm excited to check out all these other editions of the film. So the last of the Alexander releases you'll see in my hauls is Alexander: The Ultimate Cut. Here's a movie that was recommended to me by my brother-in-law. I think I mentioned this if you watched my I Watch 3 vlog for the Christmas season. He hated Love Actually. He said, you know, the movie you should watch, the movie you should spend your time with instead that has Christmas themes to it is this one here, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, with Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. I've heard so many great things about this over the years. He was just kind of the person that pushed me over the edge. So no idea really what it's about. But that cast and the word of mouth recommendation, I'm in. Cannot wait to check out this one. This is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. This next one is an A24 release that a friend of the channel asked me if I'd ever seen before. They thought it was kind of strange, and I've not seen it, so I've been wanting to correct it ever since. But this is The Lighthouse. And I think the other reason that I moved this one to the top of the list, well, 1, it went on sale on Amazon for really cheap, but 2, it's directed by Robert Eggers, who also did The Witch, which I did watch during my 13 Days of Halloween vlog this past year, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. So I'm very intrigued to see what's going to go on here, and I'm literally just noticing that that looks like a mermaid. I really had no idea what this movie was about, but maybe there's a mermaid in it, so I'm very intrigued. We will see. Great cast on this with Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, so definitely looking forward to checking out The Lighthouse. Before I move on to some of the boutique Blu-rays, one DVD I picked up that I forgot to mention is this one here, the Jeffrey Dahmer Files. I actually found this one at Menards, and they were doing like a 12% off, so it was even a little bit cheaper than the $4.99. Well, it will be once I get my rebate back, but this just looked really interesting. It's from IFC Midnight, who typically releases interesting things, and obviously Jeffrey Dahmer is one of the most infamous serial killers out there, had the whole Netflix series on him and everything, so I'm curious what different this can bring to the table, what it can bring to the table that's unique, hopefully something. So looks really interesting, and I'm a big true crime guy, so I'm hoping I'll enjoy this one. This is the Jeffrey Dahmer Files. All right, so let's jump over now to one of my boutique label pickups, and these 4 are actually all Criterion Collection finds, which is always fun to do. I picked up not this first one, but the other 3 I picked up on the very last day of the sale. So I think technically that was December, but I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't matter either way. You guys haven't seen them yet. So this first one here, though, even though this technically is all of the new items I grabbed, this one is used. I found it at Disc Replay, but it's part of the Criterion Collection, so it just fit better here. I was able to find Hearts and Minds, which is a documentary from 1974, and this is spine number 150. You couldn't see that. It's spine number 156 from the Criterion Collection. So I don't know too much about this one, but it looks interesting, and it was like $10 at Disc Replay, and it's a Criterion Collection pick I didn't have, so of course I was getting it. And this one actually has a really thick booklet to it as well, which is really cool. So that's awesome. This is the 3-disc set. I believe there's, 2 DVDs and 1 Blu-ray on this one. So yeah, pretty cool find. I don't believe this is out of print or anything, but not one that was ever really on my radar until it popped up at Disc Replay. So spine number 156 on Blu-ray, we have Hearts and Minds. So the next 3 are all new ones from Barnes & Noble, and they're all on 4K. So one of the more recent releases, at least on 4K, was this one here, The Last Picture Show. And this is spine number 549. What's really cool about this, though, is that it also comes with the sequel, Texasville. So Last Picture Show is from 1971, and the sequel, I want to say, is like Yeah, 1990, I was gonna say like 20 years later almost. So I'm very intrigued to check these out. I don't know a ton about them, but it's Peter Bogdanovich, so hopefully they will be worth watching. I've heard good things over the years. Hopefully they will be fun to see when I get to them. So this is The Last Picture Show with Texasville, spine number 549. This next one is spine number 860, and it was one that was recommended during one of the Criterion hauls I was watching from the Misfit Pond, an awesome channel if you're into film at all. But this is Mildred Pierce, and this is from 1945, directed by Michael Curtis. So I've heard amazing things about this basically forever, but I've never seen it before. So I wanted to grab it. I've heard the 4K on this looks stunning, and I thought this was just the time. The time was right. So let's do it. Let's pick up Mildred Pierce. So cannot wait to check this out. This is again from 1945, Mildred Pierce, spine number 860. The last of the Criterion Collection picks is a Martin Scorsese film, and my only regret from this previous sale is that I didn't grab After Hours. I feel like after the sale ended, I heard everybody talking about it. Yes, I heard them talking about it during the sale, but for whatever reason, it hit me in a different way after the sale, and I thought, man, I really should have grabbed that. It's not that much more expensive now on Amazon, so I might end up picking it up, but instead of grabbing that one, I picked up Mean Streets. I don't know why, I just felt like this one appealed to me a little bit more, at least at the time. So I'm intrigued to check it out. This is one of his early films, and it's from 1973, spine number 1198. Another one, heard nothing but great things about. So very intrigued to check this one out. I also got King of Comedy for Christmas, which I showed in that haul. So lots of Scorsese to watch, which is never a bad thing. Frankly, I have not watched nearly enough of his work, so this is a great way to do that. So from 1973, spine number 1198, Mean Streets. All right, moving over to 4K. This is the one kind of standard 4K release of the month, but I did grab The Wailing, which also came out during December. So I've not seen this one yet. I meant to watch it and review it. It was up next to my TV to do that. I just didn't get around to it during the busy Christmas months. But anyway, this is supposed to be an excellent film from all accounts. It is a like supernatural thriller of sorts, supernatural horror. I don't know. It's supposed to be kind of an odd movie, but it sounds very intriguing to me. It is a bit long. I think that was one of the reasons I didn't get around to it. I don't see a runtime on here now, but I think, yeah, 157 minutes. So about 2.5 hours. So not short. And it's, subtitled, so that's a commitment that I just haven't sat down to make yet, but I definitely will. So this one I had in a multi-pack on DVD, so it's technically an upgrade for me, but probably one that'll be worth it because it was a really good price for the 4K at only like $16.99, so check it out if you're interested. But this is The Wailing. So these next three I also talked about previously in my last I Watched 3 vlog, but I will show it here as well. So I did end up picking up a few of these Disney 100th Anniversary Steelbooks. This is Iron Man. All of these were on sale for $9.99 last month, so that's why I picked them up, because frankly, I don't even like how these look all that much, but these were all films I didn't have on 4K. Now, if you did watch my Christmas haul, you'll know that my wife got me the standard edition of this, which is actually the one I will keep in my collection. This one, I'm not going to return it. I feel like maybe I'll hold on to it and it'll gain in value a little bit, at least worth more than $10. And so I'll just hold on to it for now. And, if it does go up in value, maybe I can unload it at that point. So anyway, Iron Man on Disney 100th Anniversary Steelbook. Another one I grabbed was a movie that I've seen one time, and I liked it. It's a fun film, but I have never owned it, so I figured I would grab the Steelbook of Cars. Now, I know there are so many of these. What, is there 3 or 4 Cars movies? And then it branches out also into the Planes franchise. I've only ever seen the original Cars. I played one of the games, maybe Cars 2 or 3, whatever one was on Xbox 360, and it's a lot of fun. So I definitely need to continue the series. But in the meantime, I was able to get Cars on the Steelbook edition of it. And last but not least, I did have this one on Blu-ray, but I've heard great things about the transfer on this one. And frankly, hearing great things about a Disney transfer doesn't always happen, so I wanted to grab it because of that. This is Cinderella. And of course, who hasn't seen Cinderella? A great film. Cannot wait to check out the transfer on this. My daughter just handed it to me and goes, "Here's mine," and gave me this. So I guess it's hers, which is totally fine with me. So anyway, last of these Steelbooks from Disney, we have Cinderella. So I have two more Steelbooks, and this first one here is I think it's the Walmart exclusive Steelbook. That's where I picked it up. This is The Exorcist Believer, and I love how this Steelbook looks. It is so creepy with the kids on the front there, and then there is the J card on the back. Haven't opened it up yet, but I definitely will be watching this one sooner rather than later. My buddy, who we go see movies together, well, I want to say frequently compared to normal years, frequently. We went like 4 times last year, which is a lot for me, but yeah, he thinks I'll like this one. So definitely gonna check this out soon. The sequel to The Exorcist, cannot wait. This is The Exorcist Believer, and I did, like I said, go with the Walmart Steelbook edition. While I was picking up The Exorcist Believer on Steelbook at Walmart, I happened to turn the corner and there was a whole nother section dedicated to Steelbooks. Some of them were only $20. So for a film that I only owned on like a multi-pack DVD, I have seen this one multiple times, but I never owned it on Blu-ray, never owned it on 4K. Of course, I was picking up the Scream Factory Steelbook edition of Carrie for $19.96 at Walmart. Like, what an amazing deal for this. I've actually been tempted to pick up Carrie from Scream Factory for a very long time, just the standard edition. I never did it, and I'm so glad I didn't because now I have the Steelbook of it. To be completely honest, Carrie is not one of my favorites. I like it well enough, but I don't love this film. I would say it's like a 3.5 out of 5 for me. Frankly, I might even like the remake better. That's sacrilege. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to revisit them both one day. But either way, there are a ton of special features on here, and it's a beautiful Steelbook. So happy I was able to find this one for $20. I'm actually hoping to go back because they had a bunch of other boutique labels there for cheap. So very interested to see what else Walmart has. But anyway, this one is Carrie. Sticking with the Scream Factory Shout Factory, let's talk about the really nice box set I decided kind of very last minute to pick up. JFK, which is spine number 153 from the Shout Select lines, and this is on 4K and Blu-ray. So the reason I decided to grab this, initially I wasn't going to get it because I owned the DVD of it, and I thought, you know what, that's enough. Let me see the movie first before I spend the money. And then I did some research. This is so back to the theatrical director's cut anyway. I did some research, and apparently the way to watch this movie is really the theatrical edition. It is supposed to be significantly better than the bloated director's cut. At least that's what my research told me. Obviously, I'll make my own decision once I watch both of them, but because of that, the DVD I had only had the director's cut of it. So I decided to grab this box set, which has both of them. Now, that said, the only disc that is in 4K is the director's cut of the film, which is super disappointing. So this is a rare instance where even though I have the 4K of it, chances are I will be watching the Blu-ray theatrical cut first, and then if I love it, maybe down the road, I can watch the 4K edition of it. Well, hopefully not eventually. At some point, I plan to watch it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have picked it up on 4K. But yeah, so not only do you get both cuts, but there are a ridiculous amount of special features on there. Not that you can probably read that, but tons of them are new for this release, which is always cool to see. Comes in the nice hard box as well. Like, this is just a nice release. So I was happy to get it. Not terribly cheap at like $42.99, something like that, but I think it's definitely a worthwhile addition to the collection. So the Shout Select title I grabbed this month, spine number 153, JFK. I didn't even think about it, but JFK is actually the second Oliver Stone film I showed in this one. Of course, Alexander being the other one. But anyway, let's show the last one I grabbed. Another one that's not cheap, but I think is an amazing addition to the collection. From Arrow Video, The Warriors, and this release is gorgeous. I love it. So a ridiculous amount of special features on here, of course, and 4K edition of this. I didn't own it in any other format. I have seen it in the past, and I really enjoyed it, so I definitely wanted to pick it up. But let me show you. I don't know if I'll go through the whole thing, but maybe I will. This is so nice. So another big thick case for it, and then you have this beautiful. Well, there's a poster, double-sided poster, one with the original poster, one with the brand new commissioned art. And then you have this super thick booklet with it as well. And then you have, of course, the discs themselves. But inside, you have multiple postcards in here, which I guess we're going whole hog. Let me pull these out so you guys can see them. I wasn't planning on doing this, but these are great. So now you have stickers too, which is really cool, from all the different gangs. But then you also have all of these movie stills from the movie in postcard form, which just look awesome. And on the back of all of them, that's such a cool shot. On the back of all of them are the Warriors logo. So just a really awesome release, which I will put back together after I'm done filming. But yeah, this is a cool pickup. Another one, not cheap, but this is the type of thing I'm hoping to do more of in 2024. Less of the standard releases, unless I'm getting them for a really great price. More of these really cool boutique releases that might be a little pricier, but have more value, I would say. So very happy I was able to add the Warriors on 4K to the collection from Arrow Video. Oh boy, that is an awesome stack of movies. What a great month December ended up being. Honestly, when I was doing my anticipated releases video at the beginning of the month, I didn't think there was going to be a whole ton of stuff I ended up picking up. And in fact, I grabbed a couple things in here that weren't on my top 5, and I ended up skipping a couple on my top 5. The most notable one being Clue from Shout Factory. That is one I definitely want to grab. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I hope to do that soon because I really love that movie, and I'm sure it looks great on 4K. But anyway, guys, let me know down in the comments below, what did you grab for the month of December? I love seeing your list. It always gives me ideas for other things that I might be interested in. So let me know what your thoughts are on what you grabbed and anything you saw in this pile today. What do you recommend is must watch tonight? Let me know what you guys think I should watch. But anyway, guys, that is it. So thank you so much for checking this one out. Before you go, if you have a quick second, go and hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. And like I always say, I don't just talk movies, I talk all things media. Books, movies, video games, graphic novels. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. More importantly, if you love physical media, as I've already talked about, definitely check out Joe's channel. It's awesome. That is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Before you go, I just want to encourage you all to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time.